as we hit the top of the hour here, you're looking at live video from Stewart International Airport in Orange County, New York, where about a half hour ago, this plane carrying captured Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife landed at the airport. When the plane came to a stop here, numerous agents from various agencies entered the airplane. And now we're just waiting for them to bring Maduro and his wife off of the airplane and, from what we understand, to a helicopter that'll bring them down to New York City. You see everybody getting ready to exit the airplane, it appears, over here by this door. Hey Leo, can you just bring the heat down a little bit? Yeah, just a little bit. Thanks. You see the large crowd outside of that 757 waiting for people to exit the airplane. These are all helipads here with various aircraft. I do not, to be honest. Yeah, sorry, I don't know that frequency. One two three dot two. 123.2. Oh, sorry. It's 123.025. Yep. I guess the lights will probably be a good indication that something's about to change. Did you try them on the other frequency? Chopper to the desk, I think. We should be getting movement soon here. That's what we figured. But look in the doorway there. I think they have something over the head. Like they kept the head covered there. Get ready to bring them off. No, maybe not. Sorry. It's hard to see in that door on my small monitor. Yeah, we should have time still. I think if we refuel here another hour, maybe a little less if we have to go back to Linden. Now I'm talking to the desk, Leo. How is our fuel? Nah, Leo, for you, how is our fuel? Okay, so we have like a half hour here. Wait, 120. So about a half hour if we go back to Linden, and an hour 20 if we stay here and refuel. Okay, chopper desk. I think that's them at the top of the stairs, correct? I know. But that should be them coming down the stairs. Yep. Yep. Okay, they're going by that building, Leo. Can we get closer? Yeah, if there's any way we can get. Oh, we lost them behind the building there, Leo. That building's completely blocked. The hangar's completely blocking. Any way we can get closer? Well, yeah, something. We don't see anything right now. Well, hold here for a minute. I mean, I don't know if they're going to bring him out of the hangar. They must have gone inside the hangar. Well, it's okay now, but everybody's inside, so I'm not sure. Okay, to get back to Linden, how much time do we have left up here? And we can still get back to Linden? Okay, so 15 minutes if we go back to Linden. Okay. Okay, chopper to the desk. Okay, so we have roughly 15 minutes of fuel left if we're going to go back to Linden. If we stay for another hour, we have to land here at Stewart and do that all over again. That should be, yeah, that's what we would have to do, yeah. Okay. Okay. Copy that. Okay. So the plan here, Leo, is we're going to stay as long as we can and refuel here at Stewart if we have to. Okay. Nope, not necessarily. I don't know which side they're going to be going out of. I mean, if they're flying out of here, they got to come out of this side again. Unless they decide to drive up down, but that's a long drive. But not one of those three helicopters looks like they're getting ready to go fly anytime soon. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, there's no clear-cut answer there for that one. Can we come back more to the right here on the screen? Yeah, so I can see more of the hangar doors. No, this should be good. Thank you. Yeah. If you want to circle, you can circle for a little bit. Oh, you want fuel now? I thought wait, hold on a sec. What were we gonna say? I thought we had like 45 more minutes to go. Okay, so why would we land now then? Well, yeah, because they're waiting for the folks to come out of the hangar and go to a helicopter. Yeah, no, that's why they want to keep us up here instead of going back to Linden. I don't know what the bigger plan is, but I think they would like to see them leaving the hangar and boarding the helicopter, because the chances of following the helicopter are not going to be great, depending which one of those three they pick. I mean, ultimately, it's your decision, but that's what they're looking for. Well, yeah, but that's not what we were asked to do. That's, yeah, that's all been explained already for them, so, you know. Because if we land, we're down for at least 20 minutes. Hello. Yeah, what am I saying? Go ahead. Huh. Okay. Am I doing anything for us before that? Are we on at 6? What's going on? Okay, so we're doing a live hit for Fox at 6:02. Leo. We're doing a live hit for Fox at 6:02. So we'll see where we go from there. Yep. Yeah. Um, so are we on the air at 6? And am I doing something with us first and then going to Fox, or I should just jump to Fox now? Okay. And what does my hit contain? Am I just talking about we saw the plane land, they took them off into a building? Oh. Okay. We'll come up with something. And it's Alan on the desk, right? Okay, thank you. Alan Dublin. Copy. Hello, 46. How you doing? Okay, thank you for that, Alan Devlin. Thank you. Okay, copy that. Okay, change of plans. It's a CBS hit. 6:03, maybe a little bit later, depending on basketball. Can we get a little bit closer to the airport? I feel like we're like staying so far away from it. I don't know why. Oh, okay. I thought being at 3,000 feet, we were good to go. Okay, copy that. Huh. Is that a 206? That's an L model, isn't it? Or is that a 407? I can't tell. The one I'm looking at the top of the picture. .407. It's got the bat wings on it. 407. Oh, and 4 blades. Okay, so I see I just saw 4 people go to the 407 over there. Okay, copy that. Two to the top of the show, then we're 3 after that. Okay, thank you. Okay, we're on a loose standby.
This is CBS News New York.
Breaking news, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife arrive in New York. Our cameras capturing the moments he landed at Stewart Airport ahead of his federal court appearance. A massive military operation in Venezuela to capture the leader with explosions lighting up Caracas. President Trump announcing a tentative plan for the South American nation.
Going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Tonight, some are celebrating while others are protesting his comments and the strikes. What comes next here in New York and internationally? Good evening, I'm Alan Devlin. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Right now, Nicolás Maduro is at Stewart Airport in Orange County before he's expected to be moved to Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. A live look right now over the airport where Chopper 2 has been hovering over the area all afternoon, tracking the flight. We have team coverage tonight. Let's get in here with Alice Gaynor outside the detention center with the latest on this developing story. Alice, good evening.
Good evening. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro will be held here at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. This federal facility once housed detainees like Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Diddy Combs, before he was moved to another facility after sentencing, and currently Luigi Mangione is housed here. Though Maduro was first indicted by a federal grand jury in the U.S. in 2020, Maduro, his wife, and 4 others, including his son, were named in a superseding indictment unsealed today. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife will appear in federal court in New York to face various drug and weapons charges like narco-terrorism conspiracy and possession of machine guns.
The illegitimate dictator Maduro was the kingpin of a vast criminal network responsible for trafficking colossal amounts of deadly and illicit drugs into the United States.
Since 2020, Maduro has been a wanted man in the U.S. with a $50 million reward for information leading to his capture.
Nicolás Maduro had his chance, just like Iran had their chance, until they didn't and until he didn't.
President Trump says his capture was carried out by the military's elite Delta Force. The U.S. operation included airstrikes and comes after a pressure campaign, including at least 30 strikes on alleged drug boats, a blockade the U.S. ordered after seizing oil tankers, and U.S. stealth fighter jets flying daily missions from Puerto Rico. There's been a large buildup of military in the Caribbean.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Mr. Trump also said the U.S. would tap oil reserves to sell to other nations. Venezuela's vice president is demanding the U.S. free Maduro, calling him the rightful leader. People gathered in the streets of Caracas after the capture, cheering. This man expressed fear. Many feel uncertain. And there are legal questions mounting. Congress was not notified before the attack. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says the Trump administration is not being straight with Americans. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez questioned if this was about drugs, why the president pardoned the Honduran president, who had been sentenced to 45 years in a U.S. prison for helping drug traffickers move cocaine through his country to the U.S.
I went to a lot of the people standing behind me, and they felt that that man was persecuted and treated very badly. That's why I gave him a pardon.
Meantime, Republican Congressman Mike Lawler posted on social media calling the arrest, quote, a new dawn and an important step towards ending the deadly flow of drugs into the U.S. and ensuring peace and prosperity for all Venezuelans. Maduro is not expected in a federal courtroom before Monday, but we are still awaiting exact confirmation on timing for that court appearance. The UN Security Council is planning an emergency meeting. Live at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, Alice Gaynor, CBS News, New York.
Alice, all eyes on Brooklyn soon enough. Thank you. Now, as we mentioned at the top of the newscast here, we're still waiting for Maduro and his wife to be transported from Stewart International Airport in Orange County. Dan Rice is live overhead in Chopper 2 with the latest here. Dan, you've been watching this one for the last several hours from Chopper 2.
That's right, Alan. We've been tracking the airplane as it left Guantanamo Bay, making its way to Stewart International Airport at around 4:30 this afternoon. That's 7:57 you see in the center of your picture. We watched it land. They brought it over to the military side of the airport, and they sat here for about an hour before they brought Maduro and his wife off of the airplane. They led him into this hangar over here. They were flanked by numerous agents from various agencies from the government. Then they went inside the hangar there. Now, from what we understand, they're going to be taking one of these helicopters down to New York City with the Venezuelan president and his wife. We did watch pilots working on the helicopter on the top of your picture there, so we'll keep an eye on all of that as this develops here by Stewart Airport. Reporting live in Chopper 2, Dan Rice, CBS News, New York.
All right, Dan, we'll touch base with you once again when that helicopter does take off. Thank you. Now let's head over to Andrew Ramos live on the west side, where Maduro is expected to arrive by helicopter from Orange County right here to Manhattan. Andrew, what can you tell us?
That's right, Alan. Well, Venezuelan President Maduro and his wife Celia Flores expected to arrive by helicopter here at this heliport on the West Side Highway, along the West Side Highway, I should say, on the west side of Manhattan. Now, what we are expecting is an extraordinary show of force where they will be escorted by heavily guarded federal agents. Now, let me get out of the way to give you a good idea of what we are dealing with here. Currently, the media is separated from the heliport by the West Side Highway. The NYPD pushed us back, as well as members of the public who came out to catch a glimpse of the Venezuelan leader in anticipation of this landing. Now, in addition to officials with the FDNY and NYPD, a number of federal agencies also here on the ground at the 30th Street heliport. This is the first public sighting of this would be, I should say, would be the first public sighting of the couple here in New York City since the U.S. carried out what they described as a large-scale strike in Venezuela early this morning, where they were both captured and now here in New York. to face drug trafficking charges, among other charges, according to an indictment that was unsealed earlier today. Now, what we are told, the pair will at some point be taken to Drug Enforcement Administration offices in Manhattan, where they will be processed. So that means fingerprinting and mugshots. Now, once this happens, they are expected to be taken to the detention center in Brooklyn, where Alice Gaynor just reported live from. Now, the timeline on all this still remains unclear. When we start seeing movement and activity here along the West Side Highway, we, of course, will bring you that update. For now, we are live here on the West Side. Andrew Ramos, CBS News, New York.
Andrew, thank you. Mayor Mamdani is reacting to the stunning news out of Venezuela as well. During an unrelated event today, Mamdani revealed that he did talk to President Trump about what happened there.
I called the president and spoke with him directly to register my opposition to this act and to make clear that it was an opposition based on being opposed to a pursuit of regime change, to the violation of federal and international law, and a desire to see that be consistent each and every day.
Now, Mamdani was also asked whether he had any concerns regarding Maduro being held in Brooklyn. He said he's focused on the safety of the tens of thousands of Venezuelans living in the city and that his administration will work to limit the day-to-day impact of Maduro's stay on New Yorkers. Also here, dozens of people rallied this afternoon in Times Square. The protesters were calling for an end to the U.S. military action in Venezuela. Rallies like this one were held across the country, calling for an end to the bombings. Some of the demonstrators have relatives and ties to the country.
Hands off Venezuela! Hands off Venezuela!
It's infuriating and terrifying to see, like, your parents' home country attacked like that.
I cried this morning just thinking that it is very sad what's happening.
The Times Square rally was organized by the Answer Coalition, which is opposed to war and racism. And this has been an emotional day for Venezuelans living here in New York who are thinking about the future of their country. Christy Kalisian heard from people in Queens who are expressing optimism.
Flags proudly waving at El Budare Cafe in Jackson Heights as patrons closely watch news coverage for updates on all of its TVs.
I don't know. This is no tengo palabras.
Alba Guerra telling us in Spanish she can't find the words to describe how she's feeling after she and fellow Venezuelans across the region hadn't slept since 3 a.m. That's when she says her family back home called her about the U.S. airstrikes and the capture of its president, Nicolás Maduro, and his wife, Celia Flores, on alleged narco-terrorism charges.
Crítica.
Guerra's uncle, Jose Rodriguez, is visiting her from Venezuela and describes to us in Spanish that conditions in his country under authoritarian rule are critical now, with low wages, rising costs of living, and violence keeping families from leaving their homes.
Oh, yeah, everybody's scared, but we have to celebrate now. Woo!
Marianela Morera left Venezuela for New York 30 years ago, saying Saturday morning's airstrike and Maduro's capture is the only way out of the country's current state. Those in Queens sharing the excitement.
En Venezuela.
And for some Venezuelans we heard from, this awakens their hope of possibly being able to visit family members back home they've been separated from for many years.
I want to go back to see my brother because he's my old brother, and I want to give a hug and kiss.
This woman, who didn't wish to give us her name, hasn't seen her family back home since 2018. She tells us her younger brother died 2 years ago and that she hasn't had a chance to grieve with her immediate family. But for now, for the first time, she says there's hope.
Mamita, papá, los extraño mucho.
Telling her family she misses them and that she'll be home soon. In Jackson Heights, Christy Kalisian, CBS News, New York.
And you can see the reaction to what happened today solely depends on who you ask. Now, the largest Venezuelan population in the country is in South Florida, and the Venezuelan community has been jubilant since early in the morning when word got out that Nicolás Maduro was taken out of the country. Steve Majuri reports from our sister station in Miami.
This is a liberation day for the Venezuelan community down here, and these demonstrators have been out here since early in the morning. They tell me that what happened this morning was not an act of war, but an act of freedom. People have been singing, hugging, and dancing all day. They've been out here since before the sun came up, and there is a massive Venezuelan population here in Doral. They've been singing the Venezuelan national anthem and the U.S. national anthem and chanting freedom. There are people here with family down in Caracas, and they're hoping it will be safe to go see them soon. They tell me that U.S. intervention was the only way to get Maduro out of power after he rigged the election and seized power. Now the Venezuelans are looking forward and view this as a step towards stability in the South American country, and they're hoping that can turn it into a democracy.
We have generations in Venezuela that don't know what liberty is. They grew up under a communist, socialist, rule their entire lives. They're in their mid-20s. They're in the peak of their life. They've never, ever had a real shot at freedom. And this is just the beginning of it.
The demonstrators are also optimistic that the U.S. government's temporary control of the country and the bringing of oil companies down into the country to improve the infrastructure can improve the economy and the government. Demonstrators here tell me that this is the most free that they've felt in decades. In Doral, Steve Majiri, CBS News, New York.
It truly cannot be understated how historic of a day this is. Stay with CBS News New York. We will have continuing coverage throughout the night as we await the transportation of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife to Manhattan, then Brooklyn. Until then, we'll be right back. And back to that breaking news here. We've got live pictures from our chopper over Stewart International Airport. This is in Orange County, where we are awaiting the transportation of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife to Manhattan. Moments ago, we saw this same live image. Those three helicopters, or at least it appears to be three helicopters, were not running. Their engines are now up, and there is activity there on the helipad. One of those helicopters, we believe, will soon take those two, the president and his wife, to the west side here in Manhattan after the overnight U.S. operation that captured them. We will continue to monitor the situation there in Orange County and bring you updates as soon as the situation changes there on the ground. Mayor Mamdani says the city will complete the original redesign of McGinnis Boulevard in Greenpoint, which had been mired by controversy over the few and the busy street saver. The mayor says this project marks the beginning of road improvements in the city.
It is not and will not be the extent of the work that we will do to make this city safe. We will make it safe for pedestrians, for cyclists, for drivers, for New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs.
Now, as part of the redesign, the city will install protected bike lanes along the full length of McGinnis Boulevard. Other safety measures are also included there. The DOT approved the original redesign plan several years ago amid neighborhood concerns that the street was unsafe for pedestrians and cyclists. But in 2023, then Mayor Adams pulled the plug on that plan and implemented a simplified version, which many residents say did not address all of their safety concerns. And still ahead, back into the bitter cold here. Vanessa Murdoch will join us with the brutal chills we'll feel tonight in your First Alert forecast. Bundle up, New York. Back out here live real quick to Stewart International Airport, and you can see, timed out perfectly here, those helicopters are now on the move. We do believe Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife are on board, at least one of them. They are right now headed to the west side of Manhattan, where they will then be transported over to Brooklyn, to the detention center in Brooklyn. Andrew Ramos is awaiting at the helipad on the west side here, right near Hudson Yards, where they'll be landing. Chopper 2 is going to be following them en route here to Manhattan until they arrive. We will bring you continued coverage of this incident here as we get a zoom in on one of those helicopters. Again, 3 of them just taking off from Stewart International Airport. This is Orange County, upstate New York. As they make their way down into Manhattan, we will bring you updated information. Time now for a check on our weather. Meteorologist Vanessa Murdoch is here now with your first alert forecast, looking ahead to what I believe you said was some bitter cold coming our way.
Yeah, a couple of days of cold and a nice warm up. We've got some snow showers sprinkled in before the warm up. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, a live look outside for you tonight from high atop the Empire State Building. It is 30 degrees. Your first alert weather headlines. We're going to check out some light snow showers late tonight. Unsettled 7 days ahead with multiple chances for snow showers, some rain, but the warm up does begin Tuesday. So if you're tired of the cold, don't worry. We get back to seasonable and above starting then. As you look at your first alert futurecast model, what you'll notice, the clouds are thicker overhead in the model than they are outside right now. But clouds will thicken tonight ahead of, yes, that chance for snow showers in the wee hours of the morning, mainly north of the city. This is where we have the best chance of snow showers overnight, but a couple may, squeak on down closer to the city, points east as well. Then through the day tomorrow, we'll start off with plenty of cloud cover, more sunshine late. Are we talking accumulations? Very minor. Coating, half an inch, maybe an inch well north. And then you can see for the city, across the island, maybe a coating. Same story as we look to the west, places like Morristown. For tonight, we're going to bottom out at 27. Feels like the low 20s. Of course, we're looking out for those snow showers, mainly north. Your day tomorrow is a dry one, but still cold. 34 degrees, early clouds, a brighter finish to the day. Real feels will be in the 20s. So it is going to be chilly tomorrow. Now let's check out your first alert 7-day forecast so I can show you that warm up in store. For Monday, 33 degrees. We'll be watching snow showers throughout the day. Better chance more of us see them then. Tuesday, 40 degrees. Then late in the day, some wet weather could linger into early Wednesday when it's 44. Look at that. We're pushing the low 50s next weekend.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, you warned us. Everybody's ready for it. Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is CBS Sports New York, sponsored by your local Ford stores.
Steve Overmeyer joins us now with sports. A lot going on in the world of sports. St. John's trying to make it happen.
Yeah, we're learning a little bit about this team, and not everything we learn is good. Because by January, college basketball teams are really showing you who they are, not just in wins, but how they respond to moments. St. John's has shown growth this year. They've also shown they're not ready to take that next step, because leads don't matter if you don't know how to finish. The Red Storm in control with 8 minutes left to go in the game. Bryce Hopkins with the hoop and the harm, and St. John's goes up by 10. Felt like Providence, though, was playing this game like it was a Big East tournament game at the Garden, hitting big shots down the stretch. That's Stefan Vox with a 4-point play. It cuts the Johnnies' lead to 1 in the final minutes. Now, Vox is part of this influx of European players who came to play college hoops to make more money. He had 16 off the bench. Allowing threes down the stretch wasn't the only problem for the Johnnies. Providence also outscored him 38-20 in the paint. St. John's has blown 5 second-half leads this year, and when they did try to come back, it backfired. St. John's ends up losing this one by 6. They are 9-5 on the year.
Disappointing all the way around, and now it backs into the wall very early in the season. You got to win. I mean, when I say back to the wall, it's because our record's not good. We lost at home, so it's not a good situation, but we got to dig out. Our veterans did not make good defensive plays down the stretch. You can't foul a three-point shooter. That's insanity.
It is insanity, and that's something they're just going to have to figure out this roster, because they can't make any changes between now and March. They've got to figure out how to make this work.
Those highlights were kind of tough to watch there,
yeah.
Squandering that lead right at the end.
Especially at home at the Garden. Tough to watch.
Tough to watch. All right. Steve, thank you. That does it here for the news at 6, but join us tonight at 11 for the latest on the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro as he makes his way to Manhattan and the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Those helicopters in flight as we speak. We'll see you at 11. Thank you.
This is CBS News New York.
Breaking news, Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife arrive in New York. Our cameras capturing the moments he landed at Stewart Airport ahead of his federal court appearance. A massive military operation in Venezuela to capture the leader with explosions lighting up Caracas. President Trump announcing a tentative plan for the South American nation.
Going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition.
Tonight, some are celebrating while others are protesting his comments and the strikes. What comes next here in New York and internationally? Good evening, I'm Alan Devlin. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Right now, Nicolás Maduro is at Stewart Airport in Orange County before he's expected to be moved to Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. A live look right now over the airport where Chopper 2 has been hovering over the area all afternoon, tracking the flight. We have team coverage tonight. Let's get in here with Alice Gaynor outside the detention center with the latest on this developing story. Alice, good evening.
Good evening. Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro will be held here at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. This federal facility once housed detainees like Jeffrey Epstein, Sean Diddy Combs, before